just first of all, you must be very excited, that we are now on the brink of the PFL Europe beginning, because I remember the announcement last year. It seems like it's been quite a long time, but you must be quite excited that it's finally here.
Yeah, today is a great day. This has been, 12 months work in the making. Game changed, right, for MMA in Europe. We're excited to announce the 32 athletes that we've selected for the PFL Europe 2023 season roster. And we can't wait to get going, including this guy on my right.
Did you face any tough decisions? Did you have any fighters that you had to say no to during the selection process?
Yeah, I mean, we're announcing this today, but the last 6 weeks have been like a jigsaw puzzle of selection. And we had very, very strict criteria that we wanted to focus on for the first season. So we were looking at unbeaten athletes or athletes on a significant win streak, 6, 7 and 0 fight win streaks. We wanted to focus on either existing champions or former champions. We also wanted to make sure it was a truly European league, so we have athletes from 17 countries represented on the roster. And then beyond that, from a PFL perspective, we want marketable, young, ambitious, hungry athletes that we think deserve the opportunity to compete on a global stage in Europe and have the opportunity to fight 3 times this year and create a pathway, not to just becoming PFL Europe champion and the winner of $100,000, but most importantly, Seb, the opportunity to fight and compete to move into the $1 million season and become a world champion beyond that. So that's what we're creating. That's what we're excited about. And today's a massive day for us.
What would you say was the biggest challenge in setting up PFL Europe for yourself?
What was the biggest challenge? I mean, it's been a lot of work, right? We've partnered with DAZN. They've become a founding partner. DAZN, an unbelievable organization that have a history in combat sports. They're extremely successful in boxing, and we came together with them with the vision to advance and grow the sport of mixed martial arts in the same way they have done with boxing. So that was ingredient one. And then we've also gone out and we've chosen cities around Europe that we felt were the most exciting places to bring our events, right? So we're in Newcastle on March 25th, England. We moved to Germany in Berlin on July 8th. And then beyond that, we go to the playoffs in Paris on September 30th. And then the big one, the championship. No better place to do it than Dublin, Ireland on December 8th. So we added that to the mix, and then finally it was the roster. And today is, as I say, a big moment because we have what we think are 32 world-class athletes from Europe that really deserve this opportunity. So the biggest challenge, Seb, was to put all of that together. But we've been successful, and now we implement our plan.
Coming from Poland, the KSW has always been, since childhood, I've been watching KSW, and one of the things that I've always found frustrating was that they couldn't couldn't really create a proper European what you're trying to create at this moment in time. Do you see companies such as KSW and Hexagon MMA, who recently did a show in Paris, do you see them as competition potentially, or are you, because of your format, do you think that you're a little bit different from what they do?
Look, I think the PFL in just 4 seasons in the US have become the #2 global MMA promotion. These are facts based on all KPIs on the business side, audience side, rankings of fighters on the roster, etc., etc. But our strategy is to advance and grow the sport around the world, which means that we are going to launch PFL Europe this year. Next year, we'll be launching 2 to 3 more international leagues, whether that's Middle East, whether that's Africa, Latin America. Our vision is to invest and develop the sport at a grassroots level across the globe, meaning we will be delivering more events in time zone with fans, with more locally relevant fighters. So that's what we're excited about. I can't comment on other promotions. I think the beauty and the opportunity for the PFL is that there's not enough great premium MMA out there. So look, we're looking to compete and produce the best possible product with our global $1 million season, but we're in our own lane, and no one's doing what we're doing. So we will continue to be the #2 around the world, and very soon we will be the co-leader in the sport with UFC.
And Dom, if I could turn to you at this moment in time, I know that you spent the last 2 years with Cage Warriors. I'm just wondering what the opportunity with PFL. What was it about it that caught your eye?
Getting paid my worth and having another opportunity to become a champion again. I've said this numerous times. PFL, they're doing great things, especially now that they're coming over to Europe, getting top European talent across all the weight classes that they're doing for the European season. So yeah, that's why I moved over. Like, they wanted to sign me since last year summer, but that didn't come to fruition because I was with Cage Warriors, and I had to get through my contract in order for me to head over to PFL. So exciting times ahead this year, and I'm looking forward to becoming another champion again and having a 100K prize.
Did you have any other offers on the table before you made your decision to go with PFL Europe?
Yeah, I did. Funny enough, yeah, I did, but obviously it weren't matching up to what PFL were offering, honestly speaking. So yeah, so that's why you see me here.
And are you a fan of the format? I guess, you know, it really takes the politics out of the fight game, doesn't it? Because if you win, you progress. There's no, you know, there's no other.
100%. Like, there's no favoritism. You know what I mean, it's a season tournament format. The best man or best woman is to win. And also activity. I like being active. Having 3-4 fights in a year. That's great for me. Keeping the engine well oiled. So that's great for me. And then obviously the incentive is there of winning the 100K prize and becoming another champion again.
I'm wondering if you had did you have a chance to look at the roster in the R division, and maybe are there any names that you look forward to potentially meeting down the line?
Yeah, James just literally showed me the names. One of the names in there I've fought him before on a previous promotion. Franz Malambo. Yeah, Franz Malambo. So you never know. We can both get to the final and scrap it out again. And this time I'll come out on top. But yeah, it's a very solid division. I see some names in there that are tasty matchups for myself, and looking forward to competing with these other bantamweights.
And you've obviously had a lot of you've been to Bellator before, you've been a champion at Cage Warriors. But I presume you look at this opportunity as not only a way of getting 100 grand, but also perhaps of getting to the main PFL roster where you could potentially be fighting for $1 million, right?
No, 100%. That's the aim. Obviously get through this and then obviously go on to PFL Global and get the $1 million cash prize. 100%. I don't know if this is prize fighting. You can be great, but the thing is, after you're done in this sport, everyone's gonna forget that you were great. Do you know what I mean? Like, being famous or being well known doesn't pay your bills. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, just like I said, it's prize fighting, and obviously the grand prizes are there, and PFL, they're paying fighters what they're worth.
I think the last show you did with Cage Warriors, I believe it was in Rome. So I mean, you'll know firsthand that the MMA scene in Europe is quite vibrant. Do you think that we really need something like PFL Europe to really kick things off, in the MMA scene across the continent?
No, 100%, 100%, and especially like the way they're doing it, how they're attacking the European scene aggressively. That's how it needs to be done. Whereas you get some other shows, they try to do it, but they just don't do it as effectively. And I feel PFL are going to do this European season effectively and attacking the European scene aggressively like they're doing right now. So it's a good look for PFL, 100%.
And James, just last question from me. I know that you mentioned you're planning to branch out into other areas, potential other regional leagues. Does the success of PFL Europe depend on whether those go ahead, or are those pretty much set in stone that you will go to branch out in other areas?
Well, I mean, PFL Europe is going to be successful. I mean, you look at the class of 2023, 32 athletes there. I mean, just to focus in on that for a second, you have, as I say, a mix of unbelievable champions, rising stars from across the region. 7-0 Simeon Powell, 24 years old, Dakota Ditchever, 24 years old, 7-0, Francesca Nuzzi, 26 years old, 9-1 on a 7-fight win streak. Dom Wooding, he's only 26 years old and he's got 100% finish rate. I mean, we've got stonewall killers throughout each division, and this will be successful. But what I can tell you about the future is that we're already in agreement with 2 other international leagues, which will launch in 2024. So more to come on that. But yeah, I'm particularly excited about PFL Europe because the talent pool is so deep, and it's meant that this is such an exciting product.